By the way, guys,
I don't know.
before we
I don't
started
know.
rolling, I showed Yasmin an SMS and she said, that's a scam. So back then, it was just Nigerian prince. And that was so obvious, right?
Right,
Nigerian
right,
prince,
right.
I have $10 million. I just need you to transfer. That's
Yes.
so obvious. So one day, I got an SMS saying I have some reward points expiring soon. And I'm going to click on the link to check out their catalog. And I was like,
Oh,
okay. If the police is really looking for me and I turn off the phone, they'll come to my house. And I think it's fine.
I'm not saying for you to be stingy, but like, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how to say.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Money Goal. My name is Emir and I have Yasmin with me again. I think today we're going to talk about financial scams.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
Did you
financial.
get scammed, Yasmin?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Okay, look. Okay, I touch wood.
Okay.
There's wood behind here, and I will touch it. I'm not one to fall for them, if you ask me, lah.
Okay.
I feel like it's so, for me, I feel like it's so obvious when it's a scam.
Yep.
You get those really dodgy text messages or like emails. And if there's like a link of any sort, then like I just don't
Yep.
click it.
That's true.
And like Yila, you know, if I get like a phone call,
Yeah.
you know, it's so obvious like when it's a
Obvious
scam
is some.
phone call.
Obvious is some, for sure. By the way, guys,
I don't know.
before we
I don't
started
know.
rolling, I showed Yasmin an SMS and she said, that's a scam. So it can
I've just
happen
never
to
received it.
Yeah.
I've just never received it like that. But
Exactly.
I understand that like scams are getting a lot more what's the word?
Clever,
Yeah, they're
for
getting
sure.
more clever. So that's why I touch wood, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like
Back then, it was just Nigerian prince. And that was so obvious,
Right,
right?
right,
Nigerian
right,
prince,
right.
I have $10 million. I just need you to transfer. That's so
Yes,
obvious. But these
so
days,
obvious.
these days are getting smart though. They're getting
yes.
Smart.
Yeah, it's getting a bit scarier lah. But I guess like do you have like a story of, I mean, we kind of talked about it before this, but like do you have a story of like ever getting like a suspicious like SMS
Okay, I've
from
gotten-
from CIMB?
so the thing is, by default, before this, because I've never seen it before, whenever we receive SMSs from those 5-digit numbers,
Yeah.
like 6883 or whatever
Yeah.
it is, it usually is always
You think
legit.
it's legit?
Yeah, because we always get it, right? And I assume that number means safe.
Mm.
Okay, I don't know how the telcos assign it. I don't know who can get access to it, but I always thought that that's legit.
Mm.
So one day, I got an SMS saying, I have some reward points expiring soon. And I'm going to click on the link to check out their catalog. And I was like,
Oh,
okay, let me see what I can get. Flight tickets, you know, maybe luggage. I don't mind, whatever, right? I just don't want it to expire. I clicked on the link and then something felt a bit off. They actually built the UI of their scam website to be exactly the same
wow,
as,
that's scary.
as the
though.
real one, yeah. But then thank God I realized from the link. Yeah, so I realized from the link and then I was happy that I realized it was a scam. So I didn't fall for it. I didn't put any of my credentials. But I was sad because I realized I don't have reward points. So it's a bit disappointing. Yeah, but I think other than this, I've gotten a few as well, which I haven't fallen for. Honestly, I knew it was a scam because I read about it before.
Okay,
If
right.
I didn't read about it before, I don't know whether I would have fallen for
Oh,
it.
which one's this?
They call you. Hello, this is LHDN. Or hello,
Oh my God,
this is
yeah,
police,
I
this is
always get the
police." Yeah,
LHDN
yeah, yeah.
ones. Yeah.
The thing is, I've read stories about it before, so I knew immediately, like,
Yeah.
LHDN, I'm just gonna block it.
Block it.
Even if it's legit, I'll just block it. I'm joking. LHDN, no, okay.
Income tax.
But yeah, so a lot of the others so far, I think, have been quite obvious for me, but I have stories about my dad. So my dad's a bit older, in his 70s, and I think it's very easy for him to fall for these kind of things.
We're not being ageist.
Not at all. Not at all.
No.
Yeah, but my dad would send me articles of like Xi Jinping just announced a new cryptocurrency that the entire China will use, and he's like, "Hey Emir, is this legit? What do you think?" And I was like, "Not at all." Okay, I think yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
And then he sent me a lot of those, and at one point I didn't even click the link anymore. I just looked at the link and I'm like, I didn't even have to
Yeah.
open it. I told him it's a scam.
Yeah.
Just from the link. So a tip, guys, just look at the link. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite obvious to see.
But that's the thing, like scammers are getting a lot cleverer when it comes to even like how the link looks like.
Yeah, they can be very close.
Yeah. And I think just in general, there are just so many different kinds of scams. Like here in Malaysia, there's yeah, there's like your typical, income tax,
Yep.
insurance,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
scam calls, or there's like your bank or
There's still lover scams that people fall for.
yes, love
Yeah.
relationship
Yep.
scams
Exactly
where
that.
you get catfished
Yep.
basically,
Yep.
and also like phishing as well,
Yep.
which is something that's like super dangerous. Yeah, like I think what was it? If they're asking for like your details over the phone, like
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
like they're literally just looking for your information,
Yep. Yep.
right? And a lot of these people like pose as like as your bank or like
Mhm.
whatever, right?
Yep. Actually, that's another one to add. So this one, okay, I wouldn't say I'm a victim of it, but I'm
Mm.
kind of involved in it. So
Mm.
because I am a content creator and I create financial content,
Mm.
right? There are a lot of people who just try to impersonate my account. So they would take like my username and then just
Oh.
make some very small change and maybe like have an underscore somewhere
Right.
and then pretend to be me.
Right.
They will go to all my followers and then just send them DMs and like, hey, how's your trading going and stuff. And then they eventually try to tell you to deposit money with them
Right.
or send money to them, right?
Right.
So I get a lot of followers who ask me, is this really you? Is this really you? So I just tell them it's not. Please block and report. But I know that there is another personal finance content creator as well who went to actually make police reports about this because her followers have been scammed, I think close to R1 million.
Oh,
Yep. A lot of money. A lot of money.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So there is another type of scam going on
Yeah.
these days as well. Which is, I would say, just unfortunate.
Yeah.
I guess people should be a bit more aware of
Yeah.
of things. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like in general, you shouldn't be so like ready and like willing to, like if you get a phone call or like whatever, or like an email or like a text message, don't dish out like your private information.
Yep.
So that would be like your IC number or like your address or what else? Like your bank
Your bank account
account number, like stuff like that. Like don't be so like ready to give it just because you're being asked it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
I think one thing about me nowadays is that, okay, in general, in most things, I'm an optimist, right? I'm pretty optimistic about many things. But whenever it comes to things that sound a bit too good to be true, I'm very doubtful. I'm very pessimistic about these things because, especially with AI these days and stuff, whenever I see something that I just have a very slight amount of doubt about it, my first thought is, I think this is a scam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is, I think being cautious these days as your first initial response is probably the best way to play it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. Be hesitant. That's okay. It's okay to be hesitant. And
Exactly.
like if you're getting like an email that's like, oh, get rewarded 3,000 ringgit after you deposit 300 ringgit. Like silly things like that. Like don't fall for it because
Exactly.
99% of the time it's just not happening. Your 300 ringgit is not turning into 3,000 ringgit overnight.
I think on that note, one of the easiest ways to spot a scam, financial scams especially, is if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. Like it's probably fake. Yeah. So if you hear something like we said earlier, right? If there's a Nigerian prince gonna give you $10 million, I'm sorry guys, there's no way.
happening.
There's no way
It's
you
not
can get $10
happening.
million. I've seen some. There's like, hi, I'm Michael Jackson. I'm actually not dead.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So if you guys see something, because we really play on emotions, right?
Yeah,
I guess
I
some people,
suppose.
if you're in a very tough spot financially, you're in a lot of debt, for example, and you see these kind of things,
Yeah.
you might think like, this is my way out.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's a sad thing. It works more on people who are vulnerable, who are more desperate for these kind of things. But there's no free lunches in the world, guys. If it sounds too good to be true, no one's giving you free money.
Yeah.
Right. And to a lesser extent, like Yasmin was saying, if it's not $10 million, these days they're a bit smarter. So they don't want to promise the moon and the stars. But if they tell you something like, hey, I can guarantee you to double your money every year, it sounds a bit more realistic, right? But if you just think about it, ASB is giving 5%. This guy is promising you 100%. There's just no way. There's just no way that that's happening.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. And also like requests for upfront payment also
Exactly.
is a no bueno. And what's it? Have you seen the Netflix film? It's a documentary actually. It's called I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it's called The Tinder Swindler.
Okay, I've heard about it.
Have
I
you?
watched it.
You have to watch
Is it
it.
good?
It's like honestly looking at it, I think it's really easy for us to judge because we're like, we would never fall for
Exactly.
that. But like something interesting that you said was that sometimes it can be something, it can be emotional, lah, right?
Yep.
You either get rushed into a decision, in which case you feel a sense of like, oh shoot, if I don't, deposit the money now, then like I'm gonna lose everything and blah 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 blah.
Yep.
So that's fear. In this like catfish sort of situations, it's obviously out of love.
Love. Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta like make sure that you're keeping yourself in check, I
Yeah.
suppose, like when you see like these kind of things.
Yep.
And no, you have to watch that Netflix
Okay,
show,
okay, I'll watch
honestly,
it.
because
I'll watch it. To be
'cause-
more aware.
yes,
Hope that I don't get scammed.
because from the outside, I mean, us as like viewers, like especially when I was watching it, I remember thinking like, there's like, how
They're
could
so
this
dumb, right?
how could this woman possibly fall
that.
for this? Because this is crazy. Not
Yeah.
like I would never fall for this in a million years.
Yeah.
But I think she was like talking to him for like a couple of years or like whatever, and he was just showering her with a lot of love, and then he started asking for money. So obviously she was like, well, I love this guy, so
Just give it lah.
why wouldn't I give
Yeah,
him the
yeah,
money?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess moving on from that, then like, how do you protect yourself?
Like I said, I'm always very cautious.
Yeah.
I think first thing is I'm very cautious about anything that sounds good.
Yeah.
Turns out reward points were just a bit too tempting for me.
Yeah.
I had to click it. And another thing is whenever I get calls about I think they always pretend to be either government agencies or things like Post-Lajum. Have you heard like Post-Lajum?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. a lot of
Yes,
those,
yes,
right?
yes.
To me, it's so obvious, lah, but I guess some people do fall for it.
Yeah.
A lot of people fall for this because they're scared as well. They get rattled, they really speak very harshly to you.
Yeah.
So whenever I get these calls from like they say they're police or they're LHDN, I'll just turn off the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just turn it off. My thought process is if the police is really looking for me and I turn off the phone, they'll come to my house. And I think it's fine. I would rather that than I potentially fall for a scam. Again, it's just being cautious.
Yeah.
Right. I would rather hang up on the police and the guy on the other side of the phone gets pissed at me than potentially falling for a scam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the most important part is also like educating your family.
Yeah.
Like, and again, we're not trying to be like ageist, but like
I knew you were gonna say
we're not being ageist at all, right?
But-
Disclaimer. However, obviously when you hear stories of like people getting scammed, it tends to be people's like old folks, right? Their parents or their grandparents even. And this is not, I'm not blaming them. It's to no fault of their own. But I think it's also because maybe during their time, like when they were younger, it's just like a different scam generation, I suppose. Like people were scamming differently.
Yep.
And now we're obviously a lot more literate when it comes to anything digital related. So
Exactly.
of course, people our age, we can spot it
Mm-hmm.
a lot quicker, a lot easier. So sometimes you feel like, oh, like we would never fall for that kind of stuff. But our parents and our grandparents, like we can't.
It's a lot harder for them.
Yeah, we can't
Yeah,
expect
yeah,
them to see it the same way that we do. So I
Yeah.
think just
Keep an eye out on
like if your grandma sends you something that looks a bit dodgy, then just be like, Grandma, let me lay it down. Let me break it down for you. Grandma, this is why this is a scam. But yeah, moving on from that, I guess I have a few stories for you.
Okay.
also.
But actually before that, real
Yeah.
quick, right? Speaking about your story about that documentary about how people feel so emotionally invested that's when they're giving the money.
Yeah.
I think one very common scam that a lot of people fall for is they ask you for a bit of money first.
Yeah.
And then they ask for more later on.
Yeah.
So let's say they give me 500 ringgit now and I'll give you $1,000. And then you give them 500 ringgit and you're like, oh, sorry, I just need a bit more and then and I can release it to you. So a lot of people fall for this thing, they call it sunk cost fallacy. You guys can just search it out. It's a psychology thing
Right.
where you feel like because I'm already committed to it,
Right.
I'm going to go all in.
Oh.
Right? Because I'm already sinking, I'm just going to go all in. Right?
Okay. Right.
And you can't pull yourself out because I feel like if I give you 500 ringgit and then I admit there's a scam, I just lost 500. So I'm just gonna
Just
try
keep
my luck
going.
and keep going and really hope. I want to believe that this is real, right? And it's probably the same with the dating thing, right? I want to believe that you're not scamming me, so I'm just gonna keep giving you money.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes you gotta try. I know it's difficult, right? Because you're so invested into it already. You gotta try remove yourself from the situation and just think, it's better for you to lose 500 than 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's one thing that a lot of people need to be a bit more cautious of.
Yes.
Yeah, in
Yes. Yes.
general.
Yes. Alrighty. Okay. So, first story.
Okay.
My colleague met someone on a dating app. After months of sweet talk, the guy said his business was stuck and he needed a loan.
Tough luck.
She trusted him and transferred 20,000 ringgit, her entire savings.
Okay.
She loves him, right? The guy vanished. When she finally reported, the police told her, "You're not the first, and sadly, you won't be the last."
Okay.
What financial safety steps can you take before transferring money to anyone, even someone you think you trust?
Ooh, this is tough. I feel like
Yeah.
it's more of a relationship advice. Do you guys have a relationship?
Relationship. I mean,
podcast?
yeah, we do have a
Yeah.
relationship podcast. But honestly, I think the truth is, it doesn't. For some people, it doesn't even stop at just like your partner, right? Sometimes family members do this too.
Yeah. For sure.
And it's really shameless. It's really horrible. But I think that's why I'm not saying to be, what's the word?
Selfish.
Not selfish, but like stingy.
Okay.
I'm not
stingy.
saying for you to be stingy,
Mhm.
but like, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how to
I'm
say
very,
it.
I'm very similar to you, but I think,
Yeah.
I don't know if this person has met the guy before. I'll just give relationship advice. I'm not.
It's a dating app
qualified for this.
relationship.
Yeah. Okay. But if you've never met the guy, come on. Come on. Yeah. What are you guys doing? And then the thing is, like you said, with family members, it could be someone who you have met before or someone that you're close to. So if someone asks you to borrow money, to me, only give it if you are willing to accept that you will never get it back. Right?
Yeah.
I think if you go in with that intention, like if you really are close to someone and they're asking you for 5,000 ringgit and you have that to burn, right? Even though they say they'll pay you back, only give it if you're ready to accept that it might not come back. And you do that. If they don't pay it back, fine. I accepted it. I knew that it might not happen. If they pay it back, perfect. But don't give money from your savings to buy a car or a house or something like that. And then the person can't pay it back and then it becomes a whole thing. Yeah. So I'm actually an advocate for being more selfless actually. With regards to your finances. You always gotta prioritize yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I also don't believe in like loans.
Yeah.
As in loaning as in from me to like another person.
Mhm.
If you're gonna pay me back, you gotta pay me back within like the day or if not the week.
Okay.
Otherwise I'm probably not going to, because like usually, I mean, people have like asked for little favors here and
Mhm.
there. And I help, but I don't help like thinking like, okay, in 2 weeks time maybe they'll be able to like pay me back. I don't. I
Mhm.
just give. If I'm willing to give, then that's just me
Yeah.
being like, okay, I
This
give
is a
it.
gift.
If I don't see that money, that's cool as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just be
I
careful,
think that's the
guys,
way.
right?
I don't
Yeah.
have to ask for people for my money back as well. I don't like
Yeah.
hey, do you have my money? Do you have my
Yeah.
money?"
I don't.
don't want to do
Yeah.
it. That's why
Shy lah, shy.
yeah, I'd rather just not lend it. But anyway, yeah, if you guys are the ones borrowing the money, pay back your friends, guys. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and last story. One evening, I got a call from someone claiming to be from my bank. They said there were suspicious transactions on my account and asked me to verify my details.
Yep.
The caller ID even showed the bank's number. Panicked, I gave my IC and some personal info. 2 hours later, 5,000 ringgit disappeared from my savings account. That day, I learned no bank will ever ask for your full details over the phone. Correct.
Yep.
What's the safest way to handle suspicious calls or messages about your bank account?
Turn off the phone.
Yeah.
Yep. I think
Block.
Yeah, just turn it off. I've gotten calls as well, separate one where they say, "Hello, this is DG," which is my telco that I'm using right now, and they say you're gonna lose your phone number. Do you still want to keep your number? The guy literally asked me, "Do you still want to keep your number?" I'm MCMC, and I was like, "No,
No.
yeah,
Take
yeah,
my number.
I think the best advice, guys, just err on the side of caution. Right? Again, maybe there are really suspicious transactions. I think banks don't do it via call anyway. Most of the times they would send you an email or they would send you a letter. But always err on the side of caution. Again, I would rather lose my phone number, like seriously lose my phone
Yeah.
number, than fall for a scam.
Yeah.
And again, maybe there are suspicious transactions. Turn off the phone, right? End the call first. Look for your bank's phone number online, like their real phone number, and then call them and ask for real.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way.
Yeah. No, I totally
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Okay. Honestly, just
Be
be
cautious.
cautious.
Yeah.
Be cautious,
I think,
right?
yeah, I don't want to say we wouldn't fall for it because you know
Yeah.
it can get smarter and smarter.
Yeah,
So I
that's
think
true.
I know we've talked a lot about how mostly older people fall for it just because they're a bit less tech savvy. But I guess even if you guys are younger, just be cautious because they can get better and better.
Yeah.
And we might not even realize it. So I think whoever you are, whatever your age is, just always be cautious about these things.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with everything that you said.
Cool. This is the Financial Scam Prevention Talk.
Yes.
Brought to you by myself and Yasmin.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed this one and see you in the next one.